Ding, 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 ding. It is now time to call this show to order. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everybody. Welcome to another wonderful live edition of Kiwanis Connects. That's right. We're coming coast to coast. I'm in Virginia Beach. Of course, Doc Val, my good friend and co-host, she's all the way out there in California. But Mother Nature's wreaking havoc with her health, apparently. She got little sniffles. So we'll have to try to make sure she doesn't scream, yell, or get out of control.
You know that's coming, right?
Of course, I know. I can always wish, right? I want to help you, but if you get carried away, I can't help it. Andy's in the chat room. He's ready to rock and roll. He's in there nice and early. Want to thank everybody joining us. Of course, Facebook. That's where we're at. Kiwanis Connects Facebook page. WWDB-TV Las Vegas if you like Facebook. But if you like YouTube, guess what? Real hard. Kiwanis Connect Show on YouTube or WWDB-TV on YouTube. But if you like Roku and the plethora of options you have to watch on Roku, WWDB-TV has a channel on Roku, and you'll find us there in a couple of days when John finally wakes up from his slumber and his coma. Then he can upload all the shows, and you'll be able to have everything there at your hand to watch all the good stuff that we present to you. Our shows lately, Doc Val, I don't know if you've seen them, but man, this show is kicking some booty because of everybody out there. We're averaging close to 100,000 views now a week for our shows. I don't know if it has something to do with the ocean air on this side, but since I moved to this side of the country, both Aaron's Hour and Kiwanis Connects views for both shows on our Facebook page have both gone up 25% viewership week after week after week. So we want to thank everybody for making us an important part of your Friday, whether you get a bad dad joke that you want to share at dinner time, or whether it's because you want to catch up on some of the great stuff that we talk about with clubs and events and guests. And today we have a barn burner of a guest. I've been waiting all day to say that one. So Val, take it away. How's things going? And if you want to lay it out there for who our guest is, hopefully by then we'll have our guest online with us.
Absolutely. I think Mother Nature really is just slapping us back all around the world. I've been looking at all the different things that are going on, all the weather changes and the earthquakes and the everything. And I'm just like, oh my goodness. If they just got more of Kiwanis Connects and all that Kiwanis goodness, that stuff would stop. But it's like, okay, fine. But I'm really excited because last week we had the Kiwanis Possibility Project's Day of Giving. Yep. And I was so excited because we set a target of $100,000 for international donations. They extended it by a day, and we actually got $187,000 donated.
Wow, wonderful.
Yes, which is amazing. And if you think about, for every $2.25, that impacts a child through a Kiwanis service project somewhere in the world. That's just absolutely huge. Absolutely. And so I want to do a shout out to our wonderful, amazing Possibility Project folks in Indianapolis that are working so hard, and especially Kylie, who is my main support person out in Calneva. And I think you've got a pretty amazing supporter out there with what you guys are doing.
Yeah, she was in town a couple of weeks ago. I didn't get a chance to meet with her, but I do know when I attended my club meetings, both presidents mentioned that they had this meeting with her talking about the Possibilities Project. So it is rolling. I mean, it's catching some heavy duty momentum for sure.
Absolutely. And we have the Salinas commercial, and I would like at some point to be able to pull that up, because that project that's happening in Salinas, California is probably one of the most impactful projects that's been supported by the Possibility Project. It makes me cry sometimes to think about the fact that when you speak another language and you're going into a new community, it's very hard for you as a parent to be able to be supportive of your kids. You don't want to look less than to your kid because you don't understand something, or you feel like you're not at the same level of literacy and can't read to your child in the language that's being taught. And so in Salinas, which has one of the lowest literacy rate, or had one of the lowest literacy rates in all of the North America, the Salinas Literacy Kiwanis Club actually is now giving every first grader a book every month. and each book is in Spanish and in English.
Wow.
And so the kiddos started in April, and the kiddos are taking the books home and building their library. But in addition to that, they're teaching their parents how to read English while they're reading the Spanish. And so this spring, more parents volunteered in the first grade classrooms than ever before.
Nice. That's awesome. That's awesome.
That's because of the Possibility Project. They took a risk, gave the grant, and then the local Monterey County of Education gave in monies, and then also Taylor Farms Foundation, which is an amazing local foundation that does all those bag salads that you guys get in your grocery stores across the country. They actually have done an evergreen grant to ensure that every first grader every year will get their little mini library started through the Kiwanis Literacy Club of Salinas. So it makes me excited.
Did you want to pop that in right now while we're talking about it? Maybe we had it slated to run in the commercial segment, but if you want to pop it in.
I would love to, so that you guys can all see how amazing your donations, as little as $2.25. Wow. It's made the difference for so many kiddos.
All right, John, hit it.
Good morning. My name is Alejandro Hogan, and this year I'm the president of the Kiwanis Club for Literacy in Salinas. We're a small club, but what we do is we believe in literacy, and what better way to promote literacy than to come to different schools.
We go to schools where there are 4 first grade classrooms. That way we are able to distribute us as members to go in each classroom and give that 30 minutes of enthusiasm for the students to read and become engaged on that book.
Our goal is that they get a book once a month and they take it home. It doesn't stay at school, so that by the end of the year, they have their own home library.
We need more people to believe in what we do, and we want you to join the Kiwanis Literacy Club of Salinas.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, that's great. And that commercial reminds me of our guest last week, which, by the way, I want to thank, Kiwanis Connects is brought to you by Bodega Eye Injury Law here in Chesapeake. And you'll see his commercial. But Nate talked about, he had just come off of a Kiwanis event the night before where he was translating in Spanish, and he saw the families talking and the kids helping the mothers. So it's just wonderful tool. I know our guest is in the green room, but I want to acknowledge Douglas Chadwick, who is in the chat room. Good morning, Douglas. But in that package that we got, Val, with that book system that he was talking about, and I'm kind of blowing this, but Douglas included some interesting letterhead.
Nice.
I got. Surprise, surprise. I don't know if I can get the anyway. So
no, we can see it on our end. So for those of you who are driving or listening on the podcast,
Batman letterhead.
Batman letterhead. How cool is that?
But here's the thing: how can I use it though? I don't know if I want to use it or not. That's the thing, And he sent me a stat.
I think there might be a source, and you might be able to get more.
Oh.
So absolutely.
All right.
So one of the things that I love doing is bringing guests on that really make me smile. And I know that they just make you giggle, Aaron, when you see someone and you go, Val, okay, tell me how we're going to roll this out. But when I saw all about Mama's Wranglers and know the passion that she has had for over the past 10 years, my just little spidey senses went off on, oh my goodness, is this not amazing? Every community needs to be supporting a organization and a group like this. And so our guest today not only helps us celebrate something I think is really special, which is the 40th anniversary of We Are the World. So music is so key. But I would like to introduce you to Tony, and Tony can tell us a little bit more about herself. Hi, Tony.
Hi.
Tony Jackson.
Hey, how are you?
Good, Tony. Hey, Val, I don't know if you know this, and I may have shared it in email, but actually Tony and I have known each other for years. Shortly after I had my gastric sleeve surgery, she had an event at her restaurant on Water Street, and I could see the guy, Tony, who was the commonality that had asked me to host. I I was the MC for an event at the restaurant that night, and it was the first. I think it was like one of the first real public appearances I made after I had my sleeve surgery. So some people recognized me, some didn't. And I was digging through my archives of pictures because I have pictures that my wife took of me on the stage that night. I couldn't find them in time, but yeah, Tony and I go back almost close to when the restaurant started, right? I mean, not too shortly after that.
Right, so, like the year after.
Yep. Yeah, great to see you, and reading the material, the ideas are great. Anyway, I just want to share that, Val, that it's great to see Tony and things going so well for her and the family. So
absolutely,
he was so fragile that day.
Oh no.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like I am so amazed at the 1 degree of separation that between Aaron and I that we have with so many amazing people like you. It's just like, oh, it's just cool. Yeah. And so Tony, tell us a little bit about yourself, because it's like I couldn't read your bio, and I know that we've got some pictures and all that kind of fun stuff. But how did you get started in doing what you're doing?
That's a very interesting story, but I had always envisioned myself being a very big corporate person, and I was 17, graduated from high school. By the time I was 19, I had 2 degrees from college, and I was headed to the corporate ladder and climbing quickly, and got married, and then I had my first baby, and I had arranged for daycare for that baby to at the top in the area, and then I found myself after my 6 weeks maternity leave, I would drop my baby off and I would cry all the way to work, and I'm like, I don't want somebody else raising my baby, and so I ended up giving my notice, trained a new person, and I stayed home to raise my baby, and then I had a child every 2 years after that. So I actually have 6 children. And
oh, my Shiro. Oh, my gosh. That's fabulous.
But when I was just newly home with this little baby that was sleeping a lot of the time, I'm like, I still have potential. I'm still a career-oriented person. I can still do something with my life while I'm raising my babies. And so I opened a piano studio. And I would teach music lessons from my home at first. And my child would just play to the side of me. And so I could see the baby absorbing all of this music. And so naturally, my kids being raised around so much music, they just became very musically talented from the time they were born. And so when my oldest was about 10 years old, I started looking at things like, what can they do as a group together? And so not only did they learn how to play the piano at young ages, but then I got them into violin, and I really wanted them to be able to learn to play music by ear and not just reading music, which is what I taught and I learned. And so I got them into a program called Suzuki, and at Suzuki Method, they start them at the age of 3. And I'm like, are you kidding me? And so they just from the very young ages, they can learn to play by ear before they even read music or anything. And so I got my children into that. And then I found this little class that said, oh, fiddle class. And I'm like, oh, that sounds interesting. Not just classical music, but a different type of music. So I took my 2 oldest daughters, and I took them kicking and screaming. And they're like, no, we don't want to go to a class with fiddles. And they loved it. They loved every minute of it, and they couldn't wait to go back. So that's how the passion for the fiddle music became. And then we started working with a gentleman that said, well, you have all these talented kids, you might as well be a band. And I had never thought of that. So then all of a sudden we were buying banjos and guitars and mandolins, and all of a sudden we were a band. And then the kids came home from lesson one day and they said, Mom, you got to hear this. And so I sat down and I thought they were going to play a song for me on their banjo, the guitar, whatever. And they started singing in 3-part harmony. And wow. I'm like, I never taught them to sing. So all of a sudden they had this in their bag of tools. And And so it just evolved from there. And then we started performing together. In 2005, we started performing elementary school assemblies to inspire children to play musical instruments, because I saw all the documentation on how it helps in their brain development. If you play a musical instrument, it connects the right side of the brain and the left side of the brain with a little bridge, and it helps kids to be in both sides of their brain at the same time. So they're in their logical mind and they're in their creative mind, and it's so good for kids. And so that's how it all began. And in 2005, my youngest child was only 4 years old, and she would come up on the stage and she would play her little fiddle, and just the kids could connect because it was somebody their age.
Absolutely.
Somebody younger. And so we started really making a difference in children's lives, really making a difference in schools and the music programs, and the number of kids that signed up to be in music programs at schools was increasing. Their scoring was increasing in testing. The schools were just finding all these wonderful things happen.
Tony, I'm absolutely fascinated because you tie in to several of our other guests that we've had along the way. And so I'm thinking about Muzi, and I'm thinking about the Little Iguana, and those kind of programs that are all based on the universal language of music. So after we come back from the break, I want to talk a lot more about this, but I'm just like going, see, Aaron, I told you this was going to make a lot of sense.
Yeah. I had no doubt whatsoever. Hey, everybody watching Kiwanis Connects, we got to give you a couple of messages, and then we come back more with Tony and her idea to bring music back to the schools. Don't go anywhere. You ain't going to want to miss it. Otherwise, the show will fall flat. We'll be right back.
Whitney Houston said it best in one of her award-winning songs, "The children are our future." But how can we ensure that this will happen? One way to ensure our future is to volunteer. Most people would love to volunteer, but they don't know where to go to get involved. Fortunately, there is an answer. The answer is Kiwanis International. Kiwanis International was founded in 1915 in Detroit, Michigan. The name Kiwanis comes from the Algonquin Native American language and translates to rebuild. In 1919, Kiwanis changed its focus from business networking to service to children. There are currently 7,200 clubs in 85 nations. However, if you reside or work in Virginia Beach, Norfolk, Chesapeake, Portsmouth, or Suffolk, you have 11 Kiwanis clubs available for you to become a member and become an active volunteer in your community. This will ensure that children will be our future. For more information, contact Kimberly Temple at 757-793-6761 or by email at towncenterkiwanis@yahoo.com.
You know, I saw that. I saw the dancing there at the beginning of the commercial there. I said, I can do that. I do CrossFit. Hell no. Oh, my. Woo. Man, my legs cramped up after just trying to do one cross leg little step there. And I was like feeling like I was doing like Twister. Oh, my goodness. Anyway, welcome back.
You know, our Muzi friends have joined in. And so Vic says that he loves the mention. We definitely need more music to inspire the kids. Thanks, Vic.
Yes, Victor. Thank you for subscribing to our channel, by the way. I saw that notice come in earlier. Yeah, great stuff. I mean, just the energy that you guys put out there on the stage. Herman, enjoying the program. I played violin for 2 years in elementary school. Herman, did they have violins back in your day? Sorry, had to do it, Herman. Love you, buddy.
Stradivarius. It's like, oh, okay.
Thank you. I'm sorry, Herman. You know I love you, buddy. Anyway, so let's get back to it. Well, let's transition into the proposal stuff and how Kiwanis and can help out here.
So we essentially, when COVID shut everything down, it also shut down all of our contracts, all of our touring. We had assemblies scheduled, and of course, schools were shut down. Everything was shut down. So we had to figure out how we were going to keep our business alive when there was literally no entertainment. And so, of course, we opened up some podcasts, some live streaming stuff. But we really tried to focus on how we could make the barn make money, that our home, and so we essentially stopped focusing on performing anywhere outside and just trying to try and stay alive, And so we haven't restarted the program until at the beginning of this year. We decided, hey, we need to get back into giving back into the community. This is one of our passions. And we know we can make a difference in the lives of children. So let's just put it out there and see what kind of response we get. And when I talked about it on John Stiles' program, he jumped on board with John Stiles. Oh. Anyway, then I thought, there he is. And he mentioned, well, maybe Kiwanis would get involved because they're all about children. And I'm like, well, that would be great because we need help. We can't fund this program all on our own. I wish that we were making enough money that we could just, fund this program all on our own. But we can't. And we need the help of people who believe in music and believe in the power of music and believe in the future of children. And that the direction for children with regards to music, there is so much horrible music out there too. I mean, we have to look at that side of it too, because there's music that has very negative connotations and children, are like, oh, I heard the song, so I went and robbed a bank or, whatever. And so, so we have to recognize that there is music that can detract or can deter our children, as well as music that can be good. And so we have to, make sure that we understand that and that children understand that too, that music is very powerful and it's very healing, but it can also be used for bad. So we want to try and inspire and educate that if you go in this direction, it's going to help your brain. It's going to help you. And we're going to have this type of a generation coming up as opposed to this kind,
Absolutely. And one of the things that I love about this program is, like I shared just before we went to break, is music is a universal language. And we're in 84 countries around the world. And so being able to learn music and listen to music isn't language specific to English or Spanish or anything like that. But people can come up with their own melodies and everything. You come up with a melody, and you can have kids in Korea singing with you while you're on one of those nationwide window things. Absolutely. So someone in Las Vegas, someone in New York, someone in Ireland, all listening to the same music, all the same age, and making a difference.
Yeah.
That's powerful. That's absolutely powerful. And so
I just sent John the donation information. Hopefully we'll get that up on the crawl as we're continuing on with the show.
Cool. And so I want you to talk a little bit about what's the structure for Music for Hope? What is that structure?
So Music for Hope has been around for a lot of years. And that's a nonprofit 501c3. And Mike Jones is the one who founded that. And he's amazing with his mission as far as music helping people too, of all ages, not just kids, but seniors, all ages. And so Music for Hope, again, nonprofit organization that we're partnering up to be able to fund the assembly program. And our assembly program is called Operation Music for Kids. And we just love that we were able to find a partner that has a mission that aligns with our mission to help get music out there to kids. And so that's how he had approached me again years ago. And we were still touring a lot, so we weren't able to really focus on something, a program locally. And now, because we're not touring, we want to get going again. And Clark County School District is one of the largest in the nation. So there's a lot of children that we have the potential to help.
I want to put this in perspective, because obviously those who are familiar with Vegas have been around there. I mean, I was there almost 30 years. So Tony, obviously I'm more than familiar with you and the family and everything that you do, but we have viewers from all over the world. Okay. Literally and figuratively. So what I want to do, first of all, I want to just share some information, Val, if you'll just allow me here to
absolutely
let the world know really who not only Tony is, but the family performing together as Mama's Wranglers. First of all, the written objective for Music for Hope is as follows. The goal for this program is to provide an engaging, interactive, and educational experience that demonstrates how playing a musical instrument can help students improve focus, memory, problem-solving skills, and even boast their academic success. Now, that's all well and good. No, Val, not at all. He's doing this remotely. So, but listen, here's the thing. Mama's Wranglers, the Jackson Family Band, has only been doing this long enough that they've already traveled since 2001 to all 50 states, Canada, and Europe. They do classical rock, old-time Western. They even yodel. No ding-dongs, but they do yodel, and clocks, which is great for drains. They love okay, so recent accomplishments. Voted Young Entertainers of the Year 3 times. Nominated for Academy of Western Artists. National TV show filmed in Nashville, Tennessee. Performed over 300 shows per year previously, as you mentioned, how the COVID has kind of changed that a little bit. And, of course, are featured at the Firelight Barn Dinner Theater, which you can get more information at firelightbarn.com. But check this out. How does performances at venues at the CMAs, Country Music Awards, Country and State Fairs, Mushroom Mardi Gras in California, Topsfield Fair in Boston, Roy Clark Theater in Branson, Hollywood Beach, and the Village. I know the Villages. They have a lot of timeshares down there. The company I work for sold the Villages. So, folks, we're not talking like to somebody here who just woke up this morning and said, hey, you know what? Let's do this. Since 2001, that's 24 years of entertaining experience. If you don't think they know what they're doing to entertain kids and teach them the value of music, folks, you're watching the wrong show right now. Seriously, I mean, the accomplishment speaks for themselves that you are absolutely an authority in music and how it affects not just the kids, but everybody. We all do everything from like all of a sudden you're tapping your toe to a song and you're connecting. And so, folks, I mean, this is coming from somebody who knows. So I just wanted to share some of that so our audience gets a perspective that Val and I and John just haven't plunked you out of the air to talk about this. Okay, so I wanted to do this.
You know, one of the things I was concerned about is, as I mentioned, when we first started doing elementary school assemblies and my kids were the ages of the children that we were trying to influence, and they were connecting with them so well, I thought as my children are older now, so my youngest is 24, and I was worried, are they still going to be able to connect to these children? And they do. And maybe because of all the years of experience of entertaining and all the thousands of shows that we've done. But my children connect to those little children on a level that is just amazing. They just connect. And so they have that powerful influence over the kids. And so again, we feel like it's a blessing that we're able to connect. We have that ability that my children, grown adults now, are still very lovable kids. And so the students really appreciate it and love to have them as a hero or a mentor or something. It's great.
Well, I think kids of that age, excuse me, they're enamored with things they see on a stage of any kind, entertainers, things like that. So, regardless of age of whoever's performing on the stage, I think the kids are just so enamored with, oh my God, they're a performer. Oh my God, I just saw them sing. Oh, that age, age is only a number. So I think that's why, and again, having seen you guys perform, I think that practice of, not invincibility, that's not the word that I want, but that pedestal-like look kids give to people who are performers makes that transition very easy and easy to keep. And I think that's why your family still connects with the audience. And you connect with audiences of every age, not just kids. When you do your shows, you're connecting with everybody. But when it comes to the program that you want to get started again, it makes it very easy for you guys to connect with the kids.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, I agree. And I think that's one of the other things that we like to keep in our assemblies is that I'm sure everyone's familiar with that old song, Dueling Banjos. And
oh, yes.
Yeah, exactly. And
time you hear that song, you can't help but squeal like a pig, right, baby? Come on now. Right?
We like to keep that in and so it becomes a duel between siblings. And so again, kids can connect because usually the kids in the school have one or two siblings. And so they get to see that there's a pleasant rivalry between siblings that doesn't have to end in a fight. It can end in a battle that's fun and playful and pleasant. And again, just helps the kids connect to that there are siblings on stage. And
do you guys do The Devil Went Down to Georgia?
We do, but we don't usually do that in schools.
But you can always do the clean version of that one. How about Fiddler on the Roof? Do you do Fiddler on the Roof?
No.
That's it. I want the suggestion box.
Okay, put it in the suggestion box.
That's right. One of our viewers, Herman, who I joked with a few, he asked about if we have any clips of your music. So I want to go on a side note here first, other than what was in the commercial. I know we have a website, which I think I mentioned earlier, but do you have any of your music available for sale that people can find or listen to?
Yes, we do. We've released several CDs, although I find that who has a CD player anymore, right? But we have a downloadable version so people can get it on their computers and then therefore put it on their playlist on their phones.
Okay.
So we have all of that. People can just reach out to us at that email, tony@mamaswranglers.com, and we can direct them to the thing. We also want to mention that the information that's going across the bottom of the screen is a way to donate. If there are people out there that want to have the tax write-off, we need to funnel everything into Music for Hope. That's the 501c. And the Zelle for that is operationmusic@music.org. And that will get them the ability to write everything off as a taxable.
One more time, Operation Music
@musicforhope.org.
All right.
Awesome. So one more time for all of us who are driving and stopped and pulled off to the side.
Operation Music @musicforhope.org.
Awesome.
And if people go to musicforhope.org, if you don't remember that email, that's the email for Zelle. The website has a page that you can click on. It's called Operation Music, and that has all the pertinent information as well, how they can get in touch with us, everything.
That's so cool. That's so cool.
Let me ask you a question about the music. If somebody wants to download a song or something, what does it cost? Did they do it by song, by CD? What are they going to see to do?
As far as I know, we don't have anything as individuals, so they would have to do the whole CD. And
how much?
I think it's $10 for the download.
All right. So here's, Val, I'm going to go out on a limb here because it's Tony. Okay. Anybody watching this show right now, operators are standing by. If someone goes out there right now, between now and the next 30 minutes, and they buy a CD for $10, okay, I will match that as a donation to Music for Hope coming from Kiwanis Connect. So if we get one, they get $10. We get 10, you get 100.
Buy one.
Even if it's one, I don't care, whatever it is. So between now and the end of the show, what's the website they have to go to?
mamaswranglers.com.
Okay, go to mamaswranglers.com. Download a CD for $10. You get confirmation, Tony, of that purchase. You tell me that you got it or who it is. I don't care who it is. Any
All
sales
right.
in the next 25 minutes, I will match the sales as a donation on behalf of Kiwanis Connects.
Wow.
I love
Thank
it.
you.
I love it. This
Thanks,
is where the
Hillary.
magic happens.
Right.
Like, wow. So Tony, in your ideal world, where do you see this headed? What would you like to do over the next couple of months with all these amazing donations that will be coming in?
So our goal right now is to raise money by the end of March so that we can get the program into as many schools as possible by the end of May for this current fiscal school year. However, there are, as we've seen in the past, when we come in and do an assembly for a school, they book us immediately for next year. They say, this is too good. We want, and not only, as was mentioned by Aaron, I think that this program inspires not just the children, but the teachers. I can't tell you how many emails I've got from teachers or phone calls from teachers or just notes in the mail saying, wow, I was so inspired by you. I have a new hope for education and for children of the future. And so kids and teachers and staff at the schools are all being inspired by the program. But the schools immediately want to book us to come back for next year so that no child doesn't get the opportunity to have the assembly. So we expect that as people jump on board, the program will grow, the donations will grow, and we'll be able to continue into 2025/2026 school year for these kiddos that are coming in and maybe that were gone that day, or just, how if you see something once, you'll get a little bit, but if you see it twice or 3 times or 4 times, you really can get the concept down. So that's our hope, is that it will get into schools, the program will blow up, and that there will not be enough time in the day for us to get to everybody. That's a good problem to have,
That's an awesome problem to have.
Yeah.
So my brain is going 8 million miles an hour. And so I would love to do a combination benefit concert at your location, at your barn.
Okay.
And so Kiwanis, we're having our district convention the first full weekend in August. And I'm wondering if we might be able to work with you to do like a benefit concert where we're working for our children's fund and working with you. I think we may have lost Tony to be able to do that. And so
I think that would be great. Another thought for fundraising that Kiwanis can help with is the golf organization that I work with. We do fundraising projects for nonprofits. And so between Kiwanis and the company Celebrity Grudge Match, we can come out there. John, let's move Tony's screen off until we can get her reconnected. So perhaps we can certainly do that as well. But I love the concert idea. And if you work it out and I can find some flights, then maybe I come out and host the event too. So
that would be awesome. And I'm just seeing it as a joint fundraiser between the CNH Children's Fund, Children's Fund, and with Tony, so that it would be for two things at the same time, so we can get the Kiwanians who are at the convention to come over. And so, do you have an idea of how far Summerlin is to where the barn is?
Yeah, it's the other side of town.
All the way on the other side of town, of course.
So for me, where I used to live up in Summerlin, I would have to get a hotel halfway there because it was such a long drive. My passport had to be stamped crossing over 15, that it's like traveling to the other side of the world. John will testify to this. I react to like this all the time. But no, seriously, it is literally diagonally on the, like, you have the airport, Summerlin is this way, and then Henderson is this way. So it literally is on the opposite side of the valley.
So we would have to like rent buses to get Kiwanians over. So
are you at the convention?
I'm thinking about doing that Friday night of the convention because there's nothing on Friday night.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
okay, you have to do buses unless there's plenty of people that have their own vehicles that want to drive down.
Mm-hmm. And because there's no real trains or public transportation or anything like that.
Well, yeah, public transportation, but no.
Okay.
No, yeah, but buses collectively would probably be the best because then you can keep everybody together for sure. And John says he would film it too. All right, you know what? It's almost quarter of. Let's break for our last break of the show. By the way, I want to remind everybody, don't forget to change your clocks this weekend. Saturday night before you go to bed into Sunday, we lose an hour of sleep. You know what that means? Bad dad jokes are going to be based on the daylight savings time change. All right, you're watching Kiwanis Connects. Hopefully we'll have Tony connected again, and then we won't have much time left after that. You're watching Kiwanis Connects. We'll be right back.
Injured in a car wreck in Virginia? Worried about insurance companies taking advantage of you? Attorney Nathan Bordegaray, founder of Bordegaray Injury Law in Chesapeake, is a former insurance defense attorney who knows the insurance company's playbook. With over 12 years of experience and over 100 combined jury trials, bench trials, and arbitrations, Nathan has recovered millions of dollars for his clients. Regardless of where you live in Virginia, Bordegaray Injury Law is ready to help. Call 757-505-HURT. That's 757-505-4878 or visit nbinjury.com today to schedule your free consultation. Allow Bordegaray Injury Law to tilt the scales of justice in your favor.
Have you ever wanted to dress like a Hall of Fame broadcaster but didn't know where to begin? In 2018, Aaron Phillips was inducted in the Las Vegas Entertainers Hall of Fame, and The Voice was born. Aaron has been part of many successful podcast programs, and branding those programs plays a vital role. Visit thevoice.qbstores.com and order the latest embroidered products featuring the logos of many of Aaron's shows. Discounts and flat shipping rates are available on all orders, regardless of quantity, on men's, women's, and kids' apparel, and many accessories. Visit thevoice.qbstores.com and let Aaron's voice speak to you.
Wow. All right, we are back. Tony is back with us. I thought maybe the quarter ran out of the slot, so we had to send her some change to get back in there. So, all right, real quickly before we get back to Tony, John, if you could throw up the very quick slides. I want to mention these Kiwanis events like we usually do. Shrimp Fest for the Chesapeake Kiwanis Club, the 46th annual Shrimp Fest. That is happening Thursday, May 15th, 4:30 to 7:30 at the Chesapeake City Park. For more information, you can message me through KiwanisConnectsInfo@gmail.com for sponsorship information. Next, the Foundation for Blind is having their walkathon April 5th here at Mount Trashmore. That is right. It is an old trash heap that was converted to a park, and it doesn't stink whatsoever. Yours truly, that's April 5th, 10 a.m. Yours truly will be emceeing that event because I love doing that sort of stuff. They also have sponsorship information. Give.fightingblindness.org, Hampton Roads Vision Walk. And last but not least, mark your calendar, September 20th, 2025. Historic Kempsville Family Fun Fest, celebrating where the first shot, that's right, the Revolutionary War started in 1775. KempsvilleFest.com. We're looking for vendors. Yours truly will be dressed colonial, being the town crier. That is right. Somehow I got snagged into that. And I told them I would only do it if they put a box together that says Google in front of it. Then I got the bell and I got everything. Anyway, so more saying, Kiwanis is involved in planning the Kempsville Fun Fest as well. So there you go. There you have it. All right, let's get back to Tony. We still have plenty of time. Let's go for it, Doc Val.
Well, when you were going off the air, one of the things we're talking about is on the Friday of our district convention, we have a mini golf tournament going on, and then there's nothing else going on. And so my thought was that we would come and bus some folks out to where you are and do a late night show or a barbecue or something as part of the entertainment. And so it was just a percolating idea.
Perfect. We'd love to.
Okay. And so let's work on something. Let's figure something out, because I think that the more of our group that's exposed to you and what you do, the more the word's going to get out there. And so it's just very, very exciting. And so thanks, Doug, for reminding me about the mini golf. And so we need to make sure that all of our different parts of our organization are able to be a part of what's going on. And I didn't realize Summerlin is really far from you.
Yeah, for us, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I was telling Val, it's like I would have to get my passport stamped and spend a night at a hotel to get from Summerlin down to Henderson.
You know, people say that, and yet, like, we're just on other ends of the town, and it's not like you have to drive an hour. It's only 45 minutes.
Only 45
minutes. On a good traffic day. By the way, my buddy Herman put a message out there. mamaswranglers.com is the website.
Right. MAMAS.
Okay. Yeah. Because it's having trouble. The page is not working properly as he attempted to finalize his music purchase. So
yeah, I tried to buy a DVD to up the amount that Aaron was trying to give during the break. So you saw my top of my head when we came back.
Oh, okay.
So hopefully that'll count. If you get a slew of them, we'll just tell Aaron that it came all in the last half an hour.
But I do have a budget. Don't fabricate the numbers, okay? So I know of two. So I know of two purchases. So that means you'll get $20 at least for these. But I'll tell you what. Let's get. What do we need? 20. What do we need? 10. We need 8 more purchases. Give me 8 more purchases so I can write a check for at least $100. Make it worth the $9,000 stamp I put on the envelope to send the check out. Okay.
65 sales so far. The numbers are going up really fast.
Yeah.
Here we go.
65 sales. Yeah, that's because WWDB TV is going to underwrite half of those 65 sales.
Oh, there you go.
No, but seriously, so we got 2. Let's get 8 more before we go off the air, so I can at least send a check for $100, and that'll only leave you 9,990 or whatever it is. All right, because you want to go. You talk general about raising money, but your goal is $10,000 by the end of March. And
yes.
I don't know, where are we now? We're March 7th. So you got, I don't know if you have money in yet on that, but that's a big number to hit in 3 weeks.
Yeah. Yeah. We've got donations coming in. And I think Val applied for a
micro grant. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And so hopefully that will come in, and then, we have some businesses that are interested in, and I talked to the former mayor of Henderson here, and she was all on board with it, said, let me send it to some people. So, we've got our little feelers out there, and again, just hoping that somebody will see this that can, has the ability to make a difference in our fundraising goal.
Well,
I would love to get you connected with the Green Valley Henderson Kiwanis Club.
Yes,
because you're right there, and it's one of the largest clubs in the Las Vegas area.
Okay.
Because I think that is a perfect connect to be able to do the things that you want, and they're right there.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so, what do you think, Aaron? Do you know any folks over there?
The last person I knew that was connected there was Karen Gibbs, and that was years ago. So
She's still there.
Well, she may. Yeah. Is she? Well, other than that, that would be the name that would come to mind to reach out to her, to Karen Gibbs.
I did leave a message and haven't heard back from somebody, because I was checking into it, and I'm like, yeah, sign me up. I want to become a member of Kiwanis and be able to be. Here we go. So yeah, I will follow up with that and get the.
I'm sure Val can lend a hand in making certain you get a call back.
Oh, Val definitely can. So Green Valley Henderson folks that are listening, Aaron and I are sponsoring Tony into your club.
Coming for you.
We're so excited. This is awesome. And Kiwanis is one of those organizations that when you get to know us and you feel the love, it's just an amazing experience. And so by you joining, hopefully you'll come to the conference as a first-time attendee. Maybe even I saw your kids singing I Want to Be an American. No, what is it? There is this beautiful song on your site. I want to be an American, born in the USA.
That's Lee Greenwood, right?
Yes. Lee
Oh,
Greenwood's song.
Okay.
yeah. And how come everyone can't think of it now?
No. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
God
Oh my
bless the
goodness.
USA.
God
Right.
bless you. There we
Yeah.
go.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be phenomenal to open our conference with your kids singing God Bless the USA?
We
at
would
our
love to.
conference?
We would be honored.
Oh, oh my goodness. All right. So we're going to make this happen. It's just thinking big. And Doug Frost, our governor, watches on a regular basis. To shout out to Doug Frost. We need to have this happen. Governor-elect Steve Grassi, this got to happen. This is wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. So everybody keeps trying to go in and spend money. We're getting close to that 65, Aaron, unfortunately.
Well, now, wait a minute. I only know of 3 now, including Douglas. So I don't know what side.
I'm trying to help.
I don't know what. Yeah, whose budget? I don't.
I don't have much of a budget. Mr.
I know.
Andy's going to go in there. Stop.
I love Tony, but I can't file bankruptcy to do this.
No. And I love your wife way too much for that.
So I know 3, and Tony, obviously, whatever you need to do to fix the website. And then as soon as it seems to be working, please let us know. We will put a message out to everybody there.
Okay.
And let them know that we're back and running. All right, we're down to about 6 minutes, 7 minutes on average. Yeah, Douglas loves spending my money. Thank you, Douglas. Anything to keep getting my Batman stuff, Douglas. All right, Music for Hope. Go to Operation Music at musicforhope.org, mamaswranglers.com to buy the music downloads for every purchase between now and the end of the show. I will match that purchase price on behalf of Kiwanis Connects and send it their way as a donation. If you don't the reason you need to go to Operation Music at musicforhope.com is if you want a receipt for the tax donation. But if that's not a big deal and you want to make a donation, you can make a donation through Zelle by going using Zelle at Tony with an I at mamaswranglers.com or Venmo at Tony with a capital T, Tony I Jackson 56. Okay, so you can use those, or worst case scenario, just call the doggone restaurant at 702-518-7464, or Tony's on Facebook, ladies and germs. You can certainly reach out to her there too, or us, Kiwanis Connects. Reach us if you forget. We'll get you in touch with Tony, because really, music needs to be brought back into schools, and yeah, for sure. And enough said about that.
And that really fits in with my wow moment.
Yeah.
And so just knowing that what we're talking about, and I want to give a shout out to the first Kiwanis Kindness Club. It's in full swing, and I believe Memphis, Tennessee. And if I'm wrong, Vic, please correct me. Our Kiwanis Connects is one of the first corporate members of that club.
We are?
We are.
Great, more pins.
Yay! And that started as a thought on this show when we're talking about we need Kiwanis to focus in on those things that are all about kindness. So Little Iguana is a major member of that, and the Muzi is a major member of that club, because that's where those members started as Kiwanians, and the Grand Old Opryland. So it's very, very exciting. So,
all right.
You
know what time it is then?
Yeah.
It is time for the part of the show that John really hates, which is why I really like doing it, because I love pissing him off. Tony, I'm sorry I'm going to subject you to bad dad jokes, but this is the way we like to end the show. If you have a bad dad joke, Tony, feel free to share with us. With that, John, hit it. All right, here you go. Again, a reminder, tomorrow night before you go to bed, change those clocks, jump ahead, we lose an hour. Therefore, today's theme of bad dad jokes, that's right, time change. Here you go. I got a slew of them, so get ready. Hey, why did the clock break up with the calendar? They broke up because they felt their relationship was just going in circles.
I think that's why Gary Jander says that this is his favorite part of the show. So,
Yeah,
just like that.
I hear more and more people telling these at dinner tables. It's amazing how many people use these jokes. Why did the clock get in trouble? Because it was always talking too much. Okay.
Talking, TOCKING.
Oh.
Folks, there's going to be a lot of innuendos, so you need to listen carefully to these jokes. Okay. Hey, clocks are like friends. Did you know this? This is philosophy. I'm a philosopher. Did you know clocks are like friends? You know why? Because when they change, you have to adjust your perspective. Okay. I remember, folks. I just read them. I don't write them. Okay. Why? This is right up the alley of our good friend Melissa Atwell. Why did the clock go to therapy? Why do you think the clock went to therapy?
Why?
It couldn't stop dwelling on the past. Okay. Why did the clock get a promotion? The clock got promoted. Did you hear about this? Very big, very big. Why did the clock get a promotion? It really knew how to make every second count.
Actually, I'm liking these.
Okay, but then you'll love this one. Why was the clock so good at math? Why was the clock so good at math? It had a lot of experience with times tables. I like that one. Why did the clock get a timeout?
Why?
Because it was too wound up.
Oh.
Come on, you'll love it. Val, this is the most consistent I've had you rolling, and you're not feeling 100% either.
And I'm on meds. Blame it on the meds.
Oh, that's why. There you go. Figures. Oh, and by the way, Tony, please feel free to use these during your act at any time.
Okay.
How do you know when it's time for daylight savings time? How do you know when besides us putting messages out all over social media, how do you know when it's time for daylight savings time? When your clock starts acting like a teenager. It's always late. Those of us who have children. Fortunately, I only have a couple left, and I'm glad they're really quick one-liners. What did the clock say after daylight savings time ended? I'm just trying to keep up with the times.
Okay. Oh, my.
And last but not least, why? Why did the clock start a podcast? Hi, Grace in South Africa. She's here just in time to listen to the bad dad jokes.
Hi, Grace.
Why did the clock start a podcast? It wanted to share its thoughts on time management. That was the best one right there. That was it. That's it. That does it for this edition. Oh, Gary liked them. Kathy's David liked it. Herman was laughing. All right, there you go.
Oh, you know, the fact that our numbers go up so, and Kathy's like, no. You know, I think even Andy is laughing in the living room. So, what a great way to end a Friday or start a Friday. It's like ending it. I'm so ready. Thank you so much, Tony, for being here. If there was one thing that you wanted to make sure that you left us with, what would that be?
Let's all work together to make a better future for the kids.
Absolutely. Well said. Well said.
That.
Tony, I'm glad this happened because it gave me a chance to catch up with you after all these years.
Yes.
And hopefully with some of these other events, who knows, maybe you'll find me out in Vegas helping support him one way or another. So good to see you. Send regards to everybody. All right, Val, final thoughts so we can say goodbye and get John off of John's poopy list.
Okay.
Late again.
So for me, this is so important.
All right, Grace.
Because one of my major clubs here in California, Nevada, Hawaii is the Carmel Valley Club. The only reason they exist is to make sure that music programs stay in the school. So you are singing their song, their tune. There are so many Kiwanis clubs that stepped in when all the arts programs were canceled and started funding those art programs. So we want to make sure that what you do gets spread around the world because it's so important. Music is a way that will heal us and help us. So thank you, Tony.
Thank you. Thank
Absolutely.
You so much.
Kathy Zemansky, Tony welcomes you to Kiwanis whenever we can get you connected with the club for you to join.
Yay.
Grace, I'm sorry that I botched up your location. Steve Nagel, my dear, dear friend, he says, every week he jumps in and he says, I keep coming back for this. Steven, that's a you problem because you do keep coming back, which means you like them, you huckleberry. All right, everybody, with that, thank you for watching. As always, remember, change your clocks. As I always like to say, be kind to everybody. Why? Because believe it or not, we are all we have. We'll see you next week right here on Kiwanis Connects. Thank you for watching.
Injured in a car wreck in Virginia? Worried about insurance companies taking advantage of you? Attorney Nathan Bordegaray, founder of Bordegaray Injury Law in Chesapeake, is a former insurance defense attorney who knows the insurance company's playbook. With over 12 years of experience and over 100 combined jury trials, bench trials, and arbitrations, Nathan has recovered millions of dollars for his clients. Regardless of where you live in Virginia, Bordegaray Injury Law is ready to help. Call 757-505-HURT. That's 757-505-4878 or visit nbinjury.com today to schedule your free consultation. Allow Bordegaray Injury Law to tilt the scales of justice in your favor.